Hello everyone. If you see in our previous lab we use cloud here because we have some issue. We are not getting the access to the internet. So what I done here, as we told in our previous lab, we need to configure the routing protocol and also default route so they can communicate. So here if you see, I use the routing protocol. Let me explain the configuration and I will upload the lab file so you can verify yourself also. It will not take long time. What we done, same thing, only small changes here. See this one from here to here, we already know this is a just basic. We are assigning this interface IP by using DHCP server. So from here we get the DHCP. From here we assign the IP address 192.168.1.1 and here different IP, here different IP. We done all this one, and these two command we use to DNS, domain transform from domain to IP. Like example, if you type www.google.com, for that purpose we use this one. Okay, and if you see this is a router OSPF 1, we already learned this one. Before we don't know, that's why I skip these commands. Now we know already. So we can use the routing protocol, this one router OSPF 1, then go to the interface, which interface you want to put the routing, enable the OSPF, and write this command. Because we are using the process 1, so we will use this process 1, and area we are using 0, and this is I am using default information originate. So with this command it will create the default route in the all the router. Example, if I write this command default information originate in the R1, so automatically R2, R3 is also going to get the default route. OSPF is going to give the default route for these two guys. So no need to create default route here and here. Okay, and after that what we are saying exit, and whenever we want to configure NTP server, we need to write NTP server.sa.pool.ntp.org. So this is the server. Depending upon which country you are staying, you can Google the NTP server and take that URL and you can paste here, or if you have dedicated server, you can type the IP address of this one. Same thing for the router R2. We configure the interface, and these commands we configure. Already we configure the OSPF till here, and we define the server, same server. And for the 3 also, router 3 also, same thing we done. We assign the IP address, we configure the domain name server, this one IP domain name server, and we give the DNS Google that is DNS 8.8.8 and the IP domain lookup, so it will translate from domain to IP. And we have the router OSPF 1. This is a OSPF configuration. We already know this OSPF configuration as we discussed before. And then we will write NTP server sa.pool.ntp.org. So this is a server name. Just we need to copy paste. I already paste here. So let's see. Anyhow, I will upload this configuration and this topology. So in this topology, I already paste the configuration, everything. So for in your case, you need to, if you want to create, you can create new, or you need to erase the configuration here and do the new configuration. Okay. So now let me write here show clock. If I want to check, see now we have the correct clock here. 12 February, today is Friday, 12 February. We are getting the correct clock here. And same thing here, show clock here also. Before we don't have, right, but now we have correct. We check in the show clock here also. Okay, in the R1 is also correct, R2 is also correct, R3 is also correct. And if you see show IP route, we have the show IP route. Here we have, see, if you see this one O star, this is a default route you are getting from the OSPF. Okay, so if you want to ping, you are in the router R3, if you want to ping google.com, it is translating. Before it is not working, if you remember, right, because they don't have the default route. Now they have the default route, so it is working. We are getting the updated time in our all network. We have the same time in our all network. Okay, in our all network we have the same time, it is updated. 12 February, today same here, here also same thing, and here also same thing. Okay, so just I want to show you this one. This is a configuration what we done here, this is a configuration and this is a lab. What we done before in our previous class, we stopped this lab because some guys don't know the OSPF configuration. So now we already configure, we know already OSPF configuration. So same thing I use, instead of using here one more cloud, I remove that one. This is a real scenario in our organization. Example, if you want to synchronize this router with the time NTP server, here also NTP server, we can use this configuration. But nowadays many organization is using a dedicated NTP server. Okay, so this is a small lab for NTP. What we are pending in our previous class, we done here now. Okay, thank you.